It's the Jack
and Cathy
Show.
Shit Show.
And there we go.
Yeah, how was that?
Okay,
Did you like
I
that
think if yeah.
Okay.
So podcast number 2.
Number 2, for those that don't speak French.
En français.
Uh-huh.
S'il vous plaît. I can't do it. I was going to go, All right.
Maybe stick with your Scottish accent.
Christ, woman.
There you go.
And just stick with your Scottish accent. I have your Scottish arse. Do you like that? That's pretty clever, wasn't it?
It was.
Should I stop?
You're clever.
Now? Or should I keep going?
No, you keep going.
I can keep talking like this all night long.
All right.
All right. So, episode 2.
Yes.
We are taking on a ton of shit.
This is true, but
So
that has been our MO since the moment we met.
Okay. So, let's make sure. Well, it has been, no doubt.
Yeah. We've just dove in head first. Right?
I have so many inappropriate things to say with that.
Of course you do. I could say I'm going to turn on the lamp and you would have inappropriate things come to mind.
Okay. So I think we've been crazy aggressive in the past 2 weeks. So it's been 10 days since our last podcast, and that's because we've been busy. We've been traveling. You were up in Milwaukee. We haven't seen each other for 5 days until last night, right? Because we each had things going on in our respective homes.
This is true.
You had stuff going on at your house. I had
Was that
things
the
back.
longest that we went without seeing each other so far?
No, remember we went 7 days or something like that, I think it was.
I cried every night.
Whatever. Because the days kept getting closer, we were going to see me, and you were saying, I don't want to do.
He's
been
coming
the best,
tomorrow.
It's been the best 7 days of my life.
I slept. Yes. I snored without interruption.
Your snoring is
Okay, that's not what
wonderful
this
to
is
me.
about.
okay. So,
I know. Don't be so... You are distracting to look at yourself. Yes. You want a moment for a little self-love there?
I do a lot of self-love,
yes,
especially these past 5 days.
Oh, my goodness.
R-rated all of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
So we have taken on a lot, and we're also really cognizant of how it affects others around us. And so anyone else might say that
we've learned to be a little bit more like that.
What do you mean?
I think like over time we weren't as cognizant.
Because we do our inside joke stuff all the time.
Maybe we can be a little overwhelming to those around us.
Oh yeah,
because we
have been warned.
Complete morons, and
we've been warned by both children and friends.
Yeah.
That our habits can be sometimes annoying.
Yeah.
I get it. And as those friends and family say those things, and then they're with their respective couples and do the same thing, you and I have to bite our tongue.
Of course.
And now they're going to hear that we're talking about them in this podcast. So,
but by then it's going to be famous, and they'll be like, "Oh, whatever."
They were
said
so
a couple
funny
of things.
Yeah, they were adorable.
They were just starting
so
out.
Cute.
It's okay.
It happens. No, we added 2 layers of potential challenge to any relationship, and we've known each other 7 months, and this could be heavy on anybody. So the first one is we went skiing. We went on a family, if you want to call it that, vacation. I don't like using that because I don't think that's fair.
Well, full story is you have for I don't know how many years
5.
have tried to make sure you try to take a ski trip with the kids at the end of the year or beginning of the following year or something. And you invited myself this year, and then you also extended the invitation to my daughter and her boyfriend. Right. And so that was a new dynamic for my daughter to join and meet the kids, and of course her boyfriend Sam as well, meeting the kids, and just kind of witnessing that, but also being a part of that trip for you guys.
Right. And the new dynamic for me was that it started out as something that just Key and I actually did.
Right.
I said, "You want to go skiing?" And Al couldn't go and Sam couldn't go because of their sports commitments. What did I do? Oh, gave
Nothing.
me a look like I'm doing something.
No.
I feel like burping.
Yeah, I noticed
got
that.
a
You
lot of-
you had kind of a
There's
a
been
whole
a-
torso.
Shimmy thing. There's a lot of.
Let her rip, honey, if you have to. It's just,
I don't know which end it's
be
going to come out
I
of, though.
know.
That's what
I
we're
know.
worried
It's been
about.
coming out the other end while
And
setting
we didn't
this up.
even have beans or anything, which is interesting.
Well, yeah, we did. We had garbanzo beans
You
tonight.
think they would have had the effect
That was a little
quickly?
too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So I had always said that, certainly I would like to have another adult around with me because the kids, like, if anyone skis, let's be honest about this. If anyone skis, it's not a family or group outing. It's just not. It's an individual outing because everyone's got different levels. People tire easily. People want to do different routes.
Yeah, you sometimes lose each other, and one
'cause someone
person
goes
ended
faster
up
than
at a
another.
different.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, that happened to us, right? We all got separated on the first day.
right.
Where Key and Alex's boyfriend Sam were in one part of the mountain, Alex is another, and you and I were completely different. All because we lost one another as we were going downhill, right?
Right.
Because we just you take your eye off the ball, or like me falling 500 times. So the point is, it's not an individual, it's not a family thing, and it can have that aspiration and Hallmark moment bullshit where wouldn't it be great if we all went down together?
Yeah.
Usually after about 15 minutes, everyone wants to do their own thing, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, over the years past, I would end up skiing till 1 o'clock or 2, and then I'd sit around at the bar, which was never that big of a burden, clearly.
Yeah.
And then you come along
and
say, God, I'd love to ski, and you're a great skier. I'm not just saying that because we're on air. I said that to you privately. You're an awesome skier.
Thank you.
So it was fun to do that with you.
I came out alive at the end of it.
Far better than I did.
Well,
you want me to stand up and show the bruise?
We might have to document
Okay, I'll send some
your
pictures.
colorful
Butt cheek.
right butt cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Massive wipeout. Anyway, so the whole purpose of talking about this is for anyone that's going through these stages, right? This is we're blending families, so to speak, here, and I don't want to be obnoxious toward our exes or anything like that. This is
Of course
This
not.
is just us being cognizant of the fact that we're asking people that we care about to kind of join together because we care about them. And so I know you and I were hypersensitive to how this was all going to go down, and we just want to make it.
Yeah, if I was being really honest, I was a little nervous. I mean, I've met and enjoyed your kids a number of times over, and I didn't have nerves about that, but having my contingency blend in, I was hoping for the best.
You call your kids
And
a contingency?
Yes, my contingency, that would be one of my offspring and her significant other.
Your contingency.
Yes, my contingency.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful
It
way
works.
to characterize your family. The formality is awesome. My contingency.
I don't believe I used that voice,
I think
but
you did.
no, I don't think so.
The point is,
Yeah.
we were that dichotomy phrase we like using a lot. We were both excited and anxious and nervous and right any left, right, up, down emotion you can imagine. I think we're experiencing it.
Yeah.
The end of it all, I think it worked out okay. And anytime you put, 7 of us in a room, or in a place together, not everyone's going to want to go to the hot tub at the same time. Everyone's going to want to eat at the same time,
Right.
or eat the same things, even, right, or ski the same aspects of the mountain. So I kind of felt it all went well. I thought it was okay.
I think so too. And
there were little hiccups and moments where you kind of got to watch things and. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was going to say to the hiccups, yes, let's acknowledge some hiccups without even having to name them. A takeaway that you and I actually discussed was just give it a minute. Just give it a minute. Like, don't try to react. If there's a hiccup, don't try to react instantaneously.
Right.
Give it an overnight.
Yep.
Let everybody get a good night's rest.
Yep.
Let's wake up. Let's take the temperature of the waters the next day.
Yeah.
And each time it had improved.
Yeah.
Like somebody just came back to a situation or a moment or a perspective that was kind of renewed and refreshed,
Yeah.
and it was okay. So, yeah.
But I don't think we were trying to manipulate circumstances, because I don't want that to be the perception. It was
Not manipulate, but
we were. I know I was super sensitive to all of the kids. I mean, they're adults, so saying kids, I feel.
I know, but they'll
right?
always be our kids.
Right. And so I was just super sensitive to how they were going to experience one another. And it's not as though they're meeting one another at a restaurant and see you later. It's we're spending the night together, right? And and
then waking up
together,
sleepy-eyed and having coffee, and my Mac and Sam were sleeping in the living room, and and they're virtually strangers to most everybody, and so it could lend itself to some really awkward moments.
I thought it overall worked okay.
Yeah, I think everybody was like, "All right, they're cool. Yeah, they're cool. This could work."
And to the point of the podcast, I think it was a test for us.
Yeah.
And aside from me being battered and bruised and having a bad back going into it all, which was, some of that.
Bounced that back right into place.
I did bounce.
Again.
I'm telling you, that's a new therapy.
That, I think
Wreck
every
15
back
times.
doctor needs to just throw their patients down a ski hill and bounce their spine back into place.
I was awful. I mean, it was embarrassing how many times I fell.
You were not awful.
I just got tired fast.
Yeah, well, when you fall, it probably takes a little bit more out of you.
And then when you
usual.
fall a lot.
And then you fall again and again and then again. And yeah.
It was tough. I thought it's so funny because I'd love to be able to say, let's hear from one of the kids. You want to call in and talk?
Yeah. Maybe they'll chime in later if they ever hear this.
I think my mom's going to be the only one that listens to this. I've said that before.
Only because we make her.
Right. Please listen to this. I have so much to do.
Your mom and, of course, Key, if Key is editing this and producing it.
Has to listen to it.
She is going to be stuck listening to
Poor
this.
thing.
Yeah,
I feel bad for her.
I know. I do too.
I think overall, I felt it was I felt it worked out okay. And I was truly nervous for a lot of it and just wanted to find a place where we all settled in and felt comfortable.
Yeah.
And for me, the moment where it is capitulated the right way, where it all came together.
Let me just Google that word real quick.
Okay, figured. Where everything coalesced. I think that's it.
Ooh.
That was the word I was looking for. It was at breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
We had, we truly were turning what appeared as missteps into opportunities all the time, the whole time.
Well, isn't that the lesson, right?
Well, it was. I mean, we were trying to get from one place to another, hit some tough runs, but then found a place where we could have food. And Al and Sam got their breakfast stuff that they wanted. And then your Mac and Sam, mac and cheese, as we like to now call them, got their breakfast stuff. And anyway, what I was getting at was when we went to breakfast the next morning, we got up extra early because Key had the earliest of all of our flights out of Denver, and Key's going back to Seattle. And if you recall, Key comes up to us and goes, I had the time zone change wrong. And that afforded us this extra hour. And since we were all up, we decided to go to breakfast.
That's right.
And had this wonderful breakfast together.
It all worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, I know our kids, we're talking 27 down, right? Or 26 down, whatever it is, age-wise.
Yep.
And I was just really impressed on how we weren't even a part of the conversation per se, right? We were just kind of witnesses.
Yeah.
And if there's a lesson I took away from that all is let their kids in our eyes and their adults in theirs, let the process just unfold, right? To your point, give it a minute.
And it could have gone either way, right? There's no guarantee that, in our situation where we're both divorced and we're building our relationship together, the ideal scenario is that our kids are all kumbaya and they like each other. But there's no guarantee of that.
That's right.
But for this being... not the first time my kids have met any of your kids, but certainly the first time my daughter has met anybody. Yeah. And I think it went well, unless they're fooling us, unless they left there going,
if they are,
shit,
part of me wants to say, fuck them, like
Yeah.
that's bullshit.
Well, I don't think I can
Did
ever
I go
say
too
that.
strong?
That was a pretty
Did I
strong.
cut
I
over the
don't
edge?
think I
gonna
don't
beat
think
that
there's ever any moment that I could say fuck them about our children.
You mean your contingencies?
Yes, my contingencies. No, I can't.
I don't think the kids would lie because
I don't think they would either. Certainly, we have both spoken to them in a way that is like, keep this real, you guys.
And in taking the temperature
Yeah.
afterward, I got the sense that
this is
cool.
new territory for me to be in this situation. Dating somebody seriously and blending our families together. And it's really important that they are honest with themselves and with us and keeping that open dialogue. So
your brother said something perfect. Where were we? We were at the place locally a couple of days ago when we were talking about all
Cloud
of this
Red.
stuff. Cloud Red, yeah, I love that place. By the way, if Cloud Red wants to sponsor us in any way, just contact us directly at whatever the name of the show is, because we don't have one.
Sponsorship is just one free beer at the bar or an old fashioned.
Can you imagine?
That could work.
All day.
Yeah.
Yo. Forgot what I was. Oh, he said. He said, "Aren't we all just making this up as we go along?" Right.
So true.
And we were, and I think what is not common for me to do is to really slow down the cadence and kind of breathe and let things unfold, and it worked out great. And I thought you and I were great too.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have to be clingy and all those other kinds of things. I think people perceive us
at least
to be
not
often,
in front of them.
That's what I mean. Everyone has that perception that that's how we are, and while we are affectionate toward one another, we are certainly comfortable and capable of being apart for at least a minute.
Exactly.
Or 2.
Yes, or 5 days.
5 has been the hardest thing.
I know. You'll be
so
okay.
I'm just really happy. I'm proud of what we did and how we both handled that.
Well, I think you deserve credit for pulling that all together. This was, all the planning you did and all the arranging.
Well,
you really planned a great vacation.
I thank you.
I just showed up. We all just showed up.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I like that. You know that.
I certainly like it.
Well,
because I might get, a hotel reservation wrong on the book it the wrong night.
That is still one of my favorite.
No, that's
no. Can we just tell the story real quick? Can you just tell it?
Oh, sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Sure. So we were making a trip to Colorado, and the trip involved multiple hotel reservations in different places, and I was in charge of that. And I inadvertently, yep, what he said. I booked a hotel on Friday in Denver area.
No, it was Fort Collins.
Oh no, wait. Well, I was booking, and then I needed a hotel the next night in Fort Collins. And when we got there the next night, they said, "Sorry, your reservation was last night."
We did Denver, Fort Collins, and then Boulder.
Yeah. Right. So basically, I booked 2 hotels on the same night and forgot to change the date in hotels.com. And so I was so excited to go to, what was the name of the hotel in Fort Collins?
Hotel, I don't remember. It was a fancy
The Armstrong.
Armstrong, that's it. Because we stayed at the Boulderado.
Really
it's beautiful.
Cute. Yeah, and Boulderado was awesome too. But the Armstrong Hotel in Fort Collins was where I wanted to stay and share with you, because I had stayed there once before. And we get there, and he said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, your reservation was last night." And I was like, "Oh."
Can I just jump in real quick?
And plus, I already paid for it.
That sucked. But
and I get so pissed at myself when I fuck up like that.
So we were 5 months into the relationship, probably, right? If not less. And we had never. Well, where I'm going with this is, I had kind of known that you were more comfortable with me planning things, so that was starting to manifest itself early.
That locked it in.
Yeah. So then, so that's what's really funny is I know you. I could tell when we did little trips or little things that as long as I managed pretty much everything and you showed up, everything worked well. And so this was one of those moments where we're going to be visiting Mac. I was going to meet Mac and Sam for the first time.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so this was kind of your baby, even though I knew about Colorado because Key went there. So and I've been to Denver so many times. I lived there obviously for a while. And I just thought it was funny that I handed over those reins, and when they were
your first mistake.
I can't stop laughing over this. I remember thinking to myself, am I acting correctly? Because inside I am dying of laughter, and at the same time I want to go. You were so pissed, and so I
so pissed.
I wanted to
myself.
You were so pissed.
I was so pissed at myself because I hate doing stupid shit.
Well, it happens to us.
I know it, but I don't want it to happen to me. I don't want to do stupid shit.
Yeah, it's the
That's
good
different
news
than accidents.
No, I
That's
know.
different than like, I took a wrong turn. I meant to go left. It was like really dumb, and I just.
The good news is,
took me a while till I laughed.
It took you a long while till you laughed because I tried
I think
making
just yesterday.
Or
right now.
Well, I know me in that. And we hadn't quite found our rhythm yet to be able to say, not funny, not now. Right. We do that much better of this is not the time. And we read each other well.
I think I did say to you that night, you were maybe, I don't know. I have a vague recollection of me saying too soon. Okay.
But I think because
not laughing yet.
Well, right away I said, "Hey, don't worry about it." Right? I said, "It's okay. You make a mistake. I've got this app. Let's look it up and the points and blah blah blah." And we found another place. It wasn't that far away.
Yep.
And I think as we pulled into the driveway, the parking lot of the hotel, I think I said something long. I don't remember specifically, but contextually it was. So you sure were booked here though, right? I think I said something like that to try to lighten the mood, and that's when you went too soon.
Too soon. Yep. Too soon. Not laughing. Maybe tomorrow.
So yeah.
Not right now.
So that's I wish we had the podcast back then to talk about that event. So anyway, I thought I've felt everything has gone well and that.
Yes.
And so thank you for thanking me about the planning, and I also know that that's something that's a role we both know that I'll roll with, I'll hold on to, and you can sit back and it won't bug me that you're not doing anything. In fact, I prefer it now, having experienced a couple, right?
I prefer it as well.
Yeah, so it works.
Yet another box we can check in how we are good for each other, because you love to plan. And I can be a little bit of a control freak in certain instances.
You are, for sure. But that's when
But that's one where I'm like, take the reins.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
when's our flight?
That's what we do.
Where
well.
are we staying?
Yeah.
What rental car are we getting?
Right.
What time do I get up?
What time to wake up? Really, that's the question you ask.
What time do I
What
need
do
to
I
get
pack
up?
and what do I wake up?
Yep.
When do I wake up? Right.
Yep.
Okay. So second thing I
All
want
right.
to talk about, because we only have 7 minutes left on this.
Oh my
podcast.
gosh. Okay.
So I want to do the
God,
paired
you babble.
thing.
Okay.
I babble.
Continue.
Oh my God. Okay, I do.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the other thing that we're taking on, which is a pretty significant life thing. God, I am just so. I think it's for my haircut today. Yeah, I did get a haircut.
Itchy?
I got a beard thing. Yeah, I've got like the little hairs all over the place.
Okay.
Don't look at the top of my head like that.
I'm looking for little hairs.
Well, it's just I feel like I still have.
there are little hairs.
Okay, stop it. Because I want to get to Paired, who we hope to have a sponsor us one time, and we'll talk about Paired in a second.
I know that would be fun.
So without going into it, let's just set the table, because nothing's in stone yet. You know where I'm going with this?
Oh, with our investments that we're taking on together?
So we're this is a lot for most couples, and I think we're navigating it well. We had a moment this week where, for me at least, the thought of doing some of these things and some other stuff I wasn't my best self, for sure. And found myself getting distant to you real quickly, and then...
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Sorry. And not the kind of hard that makes relationships...
Oh, you are so consistently...
It only took me 3 more minutes. Buddy. So I think there were sometimes when we talked about this, so one of my tendencies can be when things start to get overwhelming is that feeling of, okay, this shit isn't going to work out. And even said to you, I'm manifesting some nasty stuff inside of me right now. And that projects itself, right, in ways that aren't positive for the two of us. So what we're doing is we're looking at buying a property together. that we might. We
Yes.
haven't decided how we're going to utilize. We're going to potentially live in
we
it.
had
or
we had been sort of tossing around that idea and of wouldn't it be cool because that's common ground that we
Right.
both
Right.
have done in our past
Yeah.
before meeting each other, and
Right.
both of us have a passion for remodeling and design and all of that, and aren't afraid to get our hands dirty. So we had talked about let's look for real estate, and given the fact that I'm a realtor in Milwaukee, but you have done that in Chicago, we were kind of open to either city, and lo and behold, property lands on our lap
Can we do a plug really quick?
that
for your
has
real
an
estate?
opportunity.
Riley Properties.
Yes, in
Yeah,
Milwaukee,
located
Wisconsin.
in Shorewood, Wisconsin.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Anyway, yeah, so we are most likely we're going to view a house. I've seen it already. You're seeing it. We're seeing it together on
Yep.
Saturday, which
Right.
is 2 days from now.
Yep.
And most likely we will be putting in a very clean, no contingency offer. And then we will be proud homeowners and business partners for the first time.
Yeah, it's a
and
lot.
So it is a lot, but you wisely brought up, and I immediately agreed that we're going to do a little operating agreement
Yeah.
and make sure we're very clear about how this goes. Because you haven't written me into the will yet, so I got to make sure that I get everything. Just kidding.
Are you?
But is she?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of exciting what we could do with
Yeah.
it. And the
And
numbers crunch out really well. And
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. And
Well, and we, when we had our hiccup earlier this week, when it became real, when
Yes.
you called me up and I still feel like an ass because you were so excited going, they accepted, right?
yeah,
And I instantly went, well, yeah, I don't know if I want this now, right? Essentially, that's what I was saying, right? And
that's what it felt like.
Of course. And it was all the emotions of me because it's not Chicago, it's away from home, and a whole bunch of other things that we've already talked about that we don't need to talk about
All
here.
fair.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about it later. I just
Mhm.
don't think we have quite the time for it tonight.
Right.
But I want to set the table with this will be one of the things we talk about, maybe even bring some other people on who are helping us in this process. And again, the reason for this podcast is so people we want to give a live look as often as possible, at least once a week, as to what it's like to be our age and to commit to one another. And I think we both have the intent to make this work and last as long as it can. I think
No doubt.
I think Monday or Tuesday of this week that really challenged itself, right?
Well, I
It
can't
was
say
tough.
that I doubted us. It's just that it was a hurdle.
Yeah.
And we got past it pretty
I did.
quickly, and I think we both acknowledged things that we could be more conscientious of moving forward. But yeah, that was a little bump there.
And we recovered by listening and talking, and
Yeah.
and I think we got to the core of what was bugging me.
Yeah, you
Quickly.
got cold feet once it got real. You got cold feet, and I was surprised, taken aback, disappointed,
Yeah.
sad, and shocked. And but I think
Pissed,
correct me.
angry.
I was a little pissed, but I do believe that anger is fear. And I. Yeah, I think I was just kind of.
Well, you're right, and we talked about it. And we're past it, and that doesn't exist. There were a bunch of other factors that were going on, and my, part of the challenge was there was some delay in getting some responses back, which happens.
Yeah.
And I get admittedly very anxious when I don't hear back from people when it comes to work stuff.
Yes.
Right, 'cause I think I'm the priority.
I had put out some messages. Me
Right.
being the realtor, I was trying to make the contacts, and I wasn't hearing back in a timely manner. As it turns out, there were good reasons for that
Sure.
on that other entity's end, but that was a struggle for you not to have people be responsive, because in business you and your team and all the people you work
Respond
for,
like that, right.
that's
a
how you're
different- right.
professional, and
Right.
and I get that.
Yeah.
So, and I
And-
think at the end of the day, it wasn't just that. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were scared, because it's change, right?
What I was most fearful of, which won't surprise anybody, is that I have so much family tie to Chicago.
Yeah.
And this was kind of saying, you have to say goodbye to that. And what went through my mind, which is irrational, I'll admit, I mean, but real, and I'm not discounting the emotion because I don't want that to be perceived, was that you always remind me, hey, this is temporary. And I even said at one time, these are moments, right? These aren't.
This is a chapter.
Right. And so it was, hey, if I had to get back to the place of, okay, I'm an hour and a half from my parents, which is not that big of a deal, and my sister. We'll still have a presence in Chicago. That just means for the moment, we're going to be doing this up here because we don't know what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
And your family is important to me too.
Right. So I think I got caught up in, I'm never going to be, I'm not going to be home.
Right.
And holy shit, there's so much going on at home. Am I ready for that? And probably wasn't my best self. But we recovered, and I thank you for that because you were patient with me, at least to my face.
I was deep breathing, man.
You were quite a bit.
I was.
you do that.
I shouldn't do that again. I get double chins.
My gut tells me you do that deep breathing a lot with me, and not in the ways that most people.
Sometimes I end up hyperventilating.
Right. I am a lot. We're a little bit over time, but that's okay today.
All right.
We're okay.
Did you
I want to
do
talk about
paired?
So we like doing this thing called paired. Well, let me rephrase that.
Let's get real. Come on. I love paired. You were just better at. I
like doing this thing called paired.
Yes, I like it too. I'm just about 20 questions behind.
Yes, you are. So, one of the topics they talk about here in Paired. So Paired's an app that I think the Gottman support and some other things. There's great articles inside the app, and every day there's a whole bunch of questions you can pick and choose. And so it's funny because Cathy knows. I'm talking to everybody else, by the way.
I'm right here.
Well, you know that you wake up sometimes to the bing. Jack just did a paired question, right?
Yes,
and you're like, oh,
yes. My
Christ.
phone alerts me Jack's on paired because he woke up at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm still in bed at 7:30, and then bing.
And so we both like doing it, and I know I'm a little more diligent than you are. That doesn't mean you don't like it.
Correct.
It's just that's my girl. So the one thing I really liked was I picked this one. There's 6 questions, I think.
Yeah, it's
10
a good
questions, just about how outside relationships are important. That it, as well as we get along, and I think you'd agree with what I'm about to say. I like spending every minute of the day with you. I do.
I've never spent more time with another human being ever, except maybe
Your eye
my
is twitching
children
again
when they,
you said that.
when I tell a lie. No, I mean, outside of when my kids were little and they were, joined at the hip, and we have fun, and I don't see that not continuing.
Right.
But to your point, and this paired question is about our other relationships.
Right.
And friendships or family or just outside of who we are and what we are building. Yep. So that's what this topic of 10 questions is about.
Yeah,
so.
and in essence, it just asks you, how do you value those external partners that we both bring?
Yep.
And then how do we react to that as partners, right? Yeah. Do I like your family? Do you like mine? Now's the time to say it on air.
I love your family.
Same. And so I thought these questions were awesome. I did want to say, when it says, what can your best friends do that your partner can't? I wrote peace standing up with ease. You were much nicer.
The way this app works is I can't see his answer until I have also completed the answer, and then his answer is revealed. And so I cracked up because I was like, girlfriends are so special. And I was also cute and touchy-feely. And then your answer is peace standing up with ease. And truly, I am so jealous of that.
It is a cool thing.
It's so good being a guy.
And you nailed it too.
Yeah.
Did I nail yours?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so the next question is, name 2 people that your partner would go to for emotional support. And I picked 2 of your friends, and you picked my family.
Yep.
Which was spot on where we would go first. Yep. I put a list of names there, and we both, here's what's really interesting. The next question is, what does your ideal support network look like to you? And we both put each other first.
I know.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
Because we had a sequential.
Are you just seeing this for the first time?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, because I already peeked at the answers, and I was like, oh, Jack's going to be
so I'm seeing all of it for the first time. So the next
on
question is, we'll go through these quickly. what's the right amount of information to share with friends about your relationship? So, wow, it's really interesting. We said the same thing.
Exactly.
We said we really don't want them unless it's for something really serious. That the trivial, I personally think that's where things degrade fast, is if you start running to others about get a load what this person did today. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think you are either.
It's interesting because I don't know if I recognize that until being with you and having the previous relationships that, you know, I rely on my girlfriends so much.
Right.
And with past relationships, I would go to girlfriends and I would express, you know, challenges or difficulties or whine or complain or bitch or whatever it was that came out of me. And not to say that that's the cause of why those relationships didn't work out, but I recognize now, and especially with you, that holding what we share with tender hands and not giving that negative energy. You know, if we have issues, I want us to work it out ourselves if we can.
Right.
You know?
It starts with us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Next question. How do you feel about your partner's family stopping by? We both.
Yeah.
I love it.
We were both like, love it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be able to happen when I'm living in Wisconsin with my family. But
well, we'll go pop in on them.
That's right.
We'll make sure.
What do you need from your partner when they're in the company of your friends?
You said nothing really. You're great this way. So nice. And I just said to be himself. So in a way, it's very similar.
So it's really interesting that you wrote down, speak positively about me and us. And it's really interesting because you know that's a pet peeve of mine.
Yes.
You know, if I hear couples who aren't together to party but are separate talking poorly about the other spouse, you know,
it
I
undermines the relationship.
So there's, I forget who there's some like Tony Robbins type character. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Yeah.
Who talks about relationships and says, I wish I could remember, it's Brendan Bouchard, says the greatest compliment you can give your spouse is to compliment them to somebody else when they're not around. So that really is very powerful. How's things with Cathy? My God, she's great. We're having a good time. We had a great trip, blah, blah, blah. And so when I hear that kind of undermining in public, oh, my wife's a pain in the ass, she's a nag. I think, you know, I've
oh my gosh,
threatened to beat guys up over that.
Yeah.
Saying, get her right now and give her a kiss, asshole, because she might not be around. So I love that you wrote that. What's your role? What role do your couple friends play in your relationships? God, you write so much more than me in this stuff, and I talk so more than you.
I guess sometimes I do. Yeah.
We are still discovering that world, but I love socializing with other couples. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, we haven't done a ton. You know, we've only been together 7 months. So we haven't done a ton of socializing or travels or anything with other couples, just a little bit. Yeah. So I think we're just starting to
we're
discover
getting more
that world. Yeah.
And it's been great.
Yeah. So far, so good.
How can you support each other in fostering your close relationships? We wrote the exact same words. Encourage was our first word.
And
right.
Both of us had the same first word. Yep. That's so funny. Encouraging that each of us spends time away from each other with those friends. Like, don't let those relationships fall.
Right. And we've talked about that
apart.
where I've said things to you about my good friend Pat, where I've got to get up to Pat's more often.
Yes.
Right. We've talked about that. When should family or friends get involved in relationship matters? I wrote maybe never.
Yeah.
And you put as needed. Sometimes we need our friends to bounce things off of. I'm glad we both have special people that we can turn to in times of need. Yeah. Yeah. I think it gets back to what we've been talking about. That
exactly.
And so I know we've gone over about 10 minutes, and we try to keep it to 30, and maybe Key will find a way to edit this, and I hope she doesn't, because I think this was a good episode.
Yeah, I guess some are going to go a little long. That's the beauty of podcasts. You don't
we can
need
do whatever we want.
You can do whatever the hell you want, because nobody's listening.
No one's listening anyway. Carol, thank you for joining.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Key.
I enjoy talking about this app.
Yeah.
Because I think we spend so much time together, and we're learning what works, what doesn't work. We're learning our rhythms. This also brings out some other things. That what's so funny for me is it just keeps supporting us. Because I look at our answers and they're identical. It's what I thought you would have guessed. There's going to be some more fun questions that we'll get to. We haven't brought those up. I just liked this one a lot.
Yeah, I did too.
Because we had just talked about the need to make sure we're constantly filling our own bucket of things that we like, not just our mutual bucket.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
Is that really deep?
No, it's spot on.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Oh my God.
It's gorgeous.
Oh my God, you're so perfect.
I know. Every time I try to develop this, I just keep getting better and better. I'm amazing.
Have you looked at yourself lately?
I have been staring at myself this entire podcast.
Yes, it's stunning. You are stunning.
I would say you're exactly right.
You're such a humble man.
I'm
It's
such an
a
ass.
thing of beauty.
I've enjoyed this. It's a great podcast.
Okay, good knowing you.
We're going to need, hey, pal, we're going to need a name for this still because we don't have one.
I know. Are we supposed to have a name, a little intro, a little song?
Well, we
or
should.
Something?
I'm
Okay.
hoping Key's able to do the soundtrack. Maybe by this time it's already done.
Yeah.
By the time these get produced. And then, I'll have a name for this, and maybe we'll do some stupid ass sign off or some Carol Burnett type thing. Didn't she tug her ear for her mom or something like that? We'll figure something out. I just love this. This is a blast.
It is a blast.
You having a good time?
Yep.
Okay, sweetheart.
I like you.
Aw.